Dear Naruto Lemon fans, I'm thrilled to invite all of you to my Boosty channel, where you can enjoy exclusive Naruto Lemon scenes in a comfortable and supportive community. Choose from various subscription tiers, from Mini Lemon to God Lemon, and gain access to unique content tailored just for our fans. Plus, subscribers to over Naruto Lemon and God Lemon will receive special mentions in my videos. Support my channel and dive deeper into the world of Naruto today. Dare. A dirty hand, with broken nails and the first traces of festering in the untreated cuts, reached out to him. It reached with the last of its strength, and dry, broken lips whispered behind it. "Help, please." The child, there, a skinny hand, smeared with the toe of his sandal, scraped the sandy floor towards the other room. Gaara looked down at the woman, his head tilted slightly to his left shoulder, not understanding why she had chosen to seek support from him of all the team, perhaps because he was the only one who had come close to her, and that probably gave her some hope. But he wasn't here to be a hero. And he himself was no hero. Temari carefully, not hiding her disgust, lifted the woman and sat her down on a precarious chair, spilling the contents of a first aid kit before her. The woman was a mass of bones and melting muscle, like water flowing through her fingers in the desert, warm as fresh blood. Still fresh blood. Her light brown hair, previously braided in a chaste, hip-length braid, now stuck haphazardly to her sweaty neck and back, where the zipper on her dress had been ripped unsightly. The room with the broken chandelier had darkened with approaching dusk. Gaara couldn't take his eyes off her, unable to decide whether he was truly disgusted or simply indifferent. She smelled of blood, of sadness. Her home had been damaged by bandits, her child. Kankuro, on Baki's silent command, pushes the door with the broken latch without much hope, rummages through the laundry basket, looks into the bathroom behind the rustling gray curtain. He lies there with purple lips and a toy bunny under his arm. And the woman, either distracting him or arriving home too late and feigning death in front of the hastily departing bandits, pitiful, hopeful, with shining, still-living eyes, and for some reason stubbornly doesn't take her eyes off him, the Jinchuriki. Dry tears form salty tracks on my cheekbones. Gaara doesn't like salty things. The scene makes him feel sour. He stares through the woman's blue eyes, leisurely forming the seals for the third eye. He's bored. Killing is so easy, especially without a long chase. There's no sense of satisfaction or excitement. Naruto will never understand him. They haven't met yet, but right now she's releasing red chakra, angry, desperate, pushed to the brink. She shatters Haku's mask and leaps at him, aiming to claw his charmingly doll-like face to shreds, and together they dive off the bridge into the cold, stormy water. The blonde is literally breaking down from her own helplessness, from the injustice, and the water running down her nose and throat. She was late, she arrived at the wrong time, she couldn't save Sasuke. She's sickened by the smell of blood and the sight of her opponent's sad brown eyes, not indifferent to murder. He's a toy, a tool, he has no desires of his own, all he wants is to be someone other than himself. The doll-like boy dies not under her clawed hands, but under Kakashi-sensei's technique, mindlessly protecting his senpai, and the blonde is tossed back and forth on a seesaw of pity and incomprehension. Why? What was all this for? They were good people, Zabuza and Haku. Partially good. And they didn't deserve to die, not now, not from the betrayal of their master, not from the pointlessness of this forced battle. Uzumaki shouldn't have met them on this mission, her world shouldn't have been turned upside down. Kakashi-sensei, after a moment's thought, takes the decapitator for himself, but not as a trophy. Although it looks like one. Although it doesn't matter anymore. You can't save everyone. The victim or the enemy, that's their fate. But they died with dignity, like true shinobi, he says with a heavy heart. He liked Zabuza, and now sad summer snowflakes swirl around his corpse. It's a June evening, and the temperature drops to -1 degree, and nature, too, is sad. A trembling Naruto wipes away tears, stealing a glance at the Uchiha groaning in pain, but alive, and doesn't comment on what was said. The anger inside, deep down, beneath the tattoo burning like hellfire, growls weakly and, dissatisfied and hungry, falls asleep in his stomach. I want to protect the people I care about. I can protect them. I can and I will, even if it's disgusting, even if it's miserable and hard. The unspoken lingers like nougat, throughout the Chunin exams and the attack on Konoha. Is this some kind of selfishness? Naruto sees people as objects who, she thinks, need her, and blindly strikes up blind conversations with them. Sometimes she's downright scared, but she endures the tremors, clenches her teeth until they squeal, and resists. Some things even anger her. You have a family. You have someone to protect, someone to love. A brother, a sister. I don't. I've been looking for it, Databeo, I've been looking for it my whole life. Useless, Gaara said, looking at Naruto with empty, indifferent eyes, the corner of his lips twitching nervously. The Konoha girl had the same long, thigh-length blonde braid as the woman whose face he'd already forgotten. And she had almost the same blue-light irises, sparkling with a last hope. Blue, like a sky without clouds, without the cotton candy that Yashimaru liked to buy on holidays. They fight under the bare sky, and Gaara's eyes are dazzled by the sun's rays. He is more persistent and faster in making the seals for the false dream. He finds himself in silence, a stillness. He's home again, somewhere in his subconscious, and the desert forms dunes that resemble members of his family. And they're all carried away by the wind, which, however, doesn't even touch the tips of his disheveled copper hair. These images fade, and he doesn't care, and only when a dull pain suddenly shoots across his forehead, and the Jinchuriki awakens, does he begin to feel anything at all. Lying like a sack in the sticky sand, brown with blood, he is afraid of Naruto Uzumaki. You're a fool, a fool, a fool. Groaning and moaning, the blonde stubbornly pushes herself off the loose earth with her chin and pulls herself up, terrifyingly and brokenly, on calloused fingers. She looks like a predator gasping in agony, he like nearly dead prey. Gaara wants to crawl away, but he's physically incapable of it. Naruto drags his legs behind him as if they're broken, and he screams, seemingly louder with every word. Have you ever noticed how your family looks at you? You say we should be alike, Gaara, but no, you're not up to par with me yet. We're bound by the same past and present, thanks to the demons, but you'll never understand what I feel. And they, even though they fear you, are always ready to save you, to be there for you, no matter what you're like. But you're a coward, a pathetic coward, closed in on yourself. True strength lies in that love you've always had. It's written all over your forehead, and I had to draw it from within. Do you think I love this village, these people who don't care about me? I force myself to love them because I've set myself a goal, to gain their acceptance. I will find this love, I will fulfill it within myself, I will earn it, because that's the only way I can find myself. Don't come near me. His heart pounds, it's afraid of that scream, that suffocating frankness. Could Gaara have imagined that someone in this world had it worse than him? Don't, come closer. Be quiet. Gaara chokes on his own blood, tasting its unpleasantly sour taste on his tongue for the first time, and closes his eyes. If only this were all a dream, if only this pain would stop reminding him that he is mortal, weak, that he is a frightened little boy, not a monster. A second, two, and two frightened shadows nest above him in the sun-washed sky. Temari cautiously touches his pierced forehead and frowns, while Kankuro, cursing under his breath, clumsily tries to hoist his bony brother onto his back like a puppet. Can you hear me? Gaara. Are you stunned? What happened here, Kankuro? We saw Shikaku. Her face is so close for the first time, because he can't yet control the sand defense. Temari absent-mindedly notes that Gaara's skin is childishly soft and his eyelashes tremble with fatigue and pain. Do I know? He snaps. Gaara is small but heavy, and stains his entire back with his blood. We can kill Uzumaki while the Jonin are away. Kankuro doesn't know what else to do, they aren't medics to patch up their brother. Their father is dead, Konoha won't let them go alive if they catch up. They have to leave, they've already been here a long time. Naruto, beneath their feet, is sobbing pitifully, choking on a croaking laugh. Gaara blinks negatively, and his quiet whisper echoes in the visitors with relieved and anxious goosebumps. No, let's go home. Don't touch her. Forgive me, I'm sorry, I don't understand why I can't be normal. But I'll try. Touch me more often, that's how I feel human. The unspoken words linger, like nougat, throughout the journey home and a month of non-stop missions. Their village had lost its Kazekage, and while gold supplies to other countries had ceased, the shinobi mined money like miners do coal, only without shifts, incessantly. Gaara is a composite of madness, selfishness, childhood trauma, skin and weak muscles, and all he could previously bear was nothing more or less than a 50-kilogram vessel filled with sand. But now he mentally repeats the laughable "Databeo" and takes on additional burdens. He goes out in the evenings, declares to the council that he wants to work for the good of the village, and, overwhelmed, doesn't sit at home for 2 days in a row. He tries to understand Naruto's guiding principle. He wants to harshly criticize her attitude toward people and the meaning of her existence. He wants to thank her for being right, and for the first time, Gaara isn't sure, but he felt envied. I'm afraid. Yes, I'm afraid. He can still wipe us out without blinking an eye. Gaara pauses with an empty glass of water outside the kitchen door. Temari and Kankuro, tired and sleepy, don't hear his footsteps. But I don't want to be afraid anymore. He's working harder for the village than even our old man ever did. I still can't believe he apologized for his behavior. Judging by the hesitation, Kankuro scratches the back of his head and purses his lips as usual. For the first time, I felt like an older brother with him. And for the first time, I wanted to smack him over the head for everything good he did. Naruto changed something in him. TCH. She just beat the crap out of him. That's what I said. They'll meet on a mission tomorrow. God forbid they fight again. Are you worried? He's not immortal or all-powerful. I only realize that now. And I don't want to bury my little brother, thinking it's for the best, because it's not. Gaara exhaled silently, clutching the warm, empty glass tighter. He hadn't noticed he'd been holding his breath, afraid to miss a word. He thought it was important. And it probably was. Gaara was 13, and for the first time, he existed for something other than himself. It was as if he were putting himself through a meat grinder, then piecing it back together, mercilessly sifting out everything that had given his past self meaning. Shikaku's growl echoed in his inner ear. He didn't like being ignored. The remainder, that the thirst for another's rich blood was voluntarily, without passion or resistance, but with a specific purpose, choked on his own. Sand didn't always protect Gaara from a kitchen knife, and in such moments, he went without bandaging his forearms for a long time, breathing heavily and blocking his own legs with his sand coffin. He didn't fully clench his fist, of course. By morning, the magnificent regeneration erases the cracks and tears like an eraser, and the Jinchuriki manages to sleep for half an hour to an hour, even during a full moon. It's like atonement through pain. He could have killed the villagers 100 times in the last few weeks, but he experiences them all firsthand. No matter how hard Gaara summons it, the sand can't truly harm him. Sometimes it wraps him up, rocks him like a baby on the waves, or lies on his chest, curled into a tight cocoon like a fox cub with long ears. Naruto's mouth drops open in surprise when he sees the sand beast in the bushes, and he snorts loudly but good-naturedly. Show off. But she enjoys it. The miniature fox rubs against her skinny leg, tickling her with his whiskers, and it feels like a mind trap. Bend over, and suddenly his paw will wrap around her throat. But it doesn't. Gaara approaches from behind. Slowly and rustling, allowing the blonde to turn around calmly and flutter her blonde braid between them. His long, childishly delicate fingers are relaxed, though a crease has formed between his brow ridges. He struggles to find the words. Thank you for opening my eyes. And she's exhausted from her own sincerity. That's enough for now. Not all at once. The mirrors of the sky beckon him, instinctively wanting to step away, and at the same time, to hug her in a kind of embrace. It feels good, sort of. He'd almost forgotten that Yashimara had once comforted him like that after accidentally killing a genin. But Naruto definitely wouldn't understand that now. You can't tell her that kind of thing unless you want to get hit again. The Jinchuriki stand opposite each other, a sand mouse-eater spins around them like a top, crumbling bit by bit like tails from a sudden loss of control, because Gaara is lost in silence for the first time, while he is methodically examined from all angles. A special type, communicating with Naruto Uzumaki requires clues that he doesn't have, but he would pay handsomely for them if the opportunity arose. Gaara wants to stand like this, next to her, forever. He no longer fears her as he did back then, on the battlefield. He admires her. The one-tailed Jinchuriki is still completely inexperienced in all things emotional, and doesn't understand why his heart is beating cautiously and rapidly, while he himself catches the touch of sunlight on her striped bronze cheeks. When Naruto, frowning, suddenly smiles a moment later, dimples appear on those cheeks. You're welcome. I was rude back then, I remember. And now I feel awkward, Dadabayo. And how's your shoulder? Sasuke the fool with his Chidori was no good for your demon, and you were no good for me, she trails off. Sakura is still alive, after all, Naruto saved her, and in time. You could say she's down to 0 now, 2 souls buried in the land of waves, 2 she recently saved. It was a worthy fight. Gaara looks away. There's a scar under my collarbone, but there's no pain. I have a gut feeling you're unhappy. Echem. Please don't take this pain as punishment for everything you did before, Naruto remarks shrewdly and reproaches. Her cheeks and ears flush for some reason. I'm, worried about you. Don't ask me why, I don't understand myself. We haven't seen each other in a while. I've gotten out of the habit of feeling you around. I mean, in the village. Don't get any ideas there, Dadabayo. It was mutual. Naruto's presence stirred and enraged the demon within Gaara, and his angry whining, in addition to the usual headache, evoked a vengeful, sweet smirk. How nice that at least sometimes, exhausted, he shut up. Gaara's presence stirred and, on some inner level, made him yearn for him, but it wasn't the demon itself that was the problem. The fox was hidden behind a secure cage, and, as it turned out, he cared nothing for the puppy's malice. His mind was clear, frighteningly clear, and Naruto could only bicker with him, acknowledging a banal and shamefully inappropriate attraction to the boy. Gaara was terrifying at heart, but that didn't detract from the fact that his face was more interesting than Sasuke's. Gaara was graceful, deceptively fragile, strong and confident in his strength, and he had those amusing curls at the ends of his spiky hair. He seemed soaked in the blood of those he'd killed, more like a vessel for the fiery demon fox than she was. Naruto wouldn't have managed without a summoning, red chakra, and the stupid principle of saving Sakura, because Gaara, after all, was more experienced in combat. He was a killing machine, a future Anbu, and it was unlikely he'd agree to a lower status. Gaara preferred to act forcefully and silently, and despite his cold demeanor, he could be shockingly attractive in his obsessive madness. Defeating him was a rare stroke of luck. Meeting him and being drawn to him was equally rare. If an Uzumaki had been working with Naruto, they would have explained to her that those with sensory aptitude can subconsciously sense attractive chakra. They are drawn to its possessors. But there is nothing inherently wrong or artificial about it. In fact, their genes are highly likely to strengthen their potential offspring. Kakashi tactfully lets the teenagers talk, standing aside with the one-tailed sage's Jinchuriki partners, and somehow senses that this strange dialogue between the children may never end. This thought strangely calms the Jonin. The boisterous and sometimes downright obnoxious Naruto can be influenced, silenced, and deflected, and Gaara, who has changed, seemingly matured, in the past month, has already set this process in motion. Naruto is 13 and finds meaning in her existence in the love she finally receives in return.